Titans fans, we are just 60 subscribers away from reaching that 1,000 sub mark, and what a great time to subscribe. Tennessee is hot. I'd argue one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and we're not going anywhere. We're going to keep giving you guys videos, so if you want them for free, hit that big red button right now. You're watching Tennessee Titans today. I am Tom Downey here with some rumors, news, and reaction coming out of a impressive win by Tennessee at home against the Kansas City Chiefs. Tennessee in a game that they absolutely dominated from start to finish. They had all 27 of their points in the first half. It could have been worse maybe, but they didn't need to really run up the score too much against a very struggling Chiefs team. Tennessee wins 27-3. Ryan Tannehill has himself a strong game. Derrick Henry was limited only 3 yards per carry, and yet Tennessee won easily. They did not allow a touchdown. The first time the Chiefs, with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback, do not score a touchdown in which he gets the start. We will spend plenty of time on Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, the A.J. Brown redemption game, and yes, that Titans defense all on today's show. But first, give me your one-word reaction to today's win. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So head on down. I'm about to give my one word, but I want to hear from you. Give me your one-word reaction to Tennessee's win. I'm going with bigly, because that's what this was. This was a huge, massive, critical, whatever fancy word you want to use. I'm going to use bigly, not that fancy of a word, but it's a huge win for Tennessee. This was the type of game that proved the win against the Bills was by no means a fluke. Now Tennessee is 5-2. They've beaten two of the better, we thought, entering the year, AFC teams. And to put this in perspective, and this is why this matters so much, this win really helps Tennessee as it relates to the race to the number one seed. Let's be honest here. The Tennessee Titans are going to cruise to an AFC South championship. The Colts are not very good. They're 2-4. They got the Niners on Sunday Night Football. The Texans suck, and the Jags are also bad. This keeps Tennessee what the more important prize could be, that number one seed and the lone bye in the AFC. Because remember, right now, Tennessee sits technically as the number 2 seed in the AFC behind the Bengals. Kind of crazy on that front. But the Bengals, Titans, Chargers, Bills, Ravens, and maybe the Raiders, we'll see how this game goes ongoing right now against the Eagles, ends up finishing. All those teams have 2 losses right now. So there's going to be a very difficult battle for the AFC and that number 1 seed. This win over Kansas City, it helps keep Tennessee in. And frankly, why not? Why can't Tennessee win the number 1 seed? The defense is playing better, one of their best games in a very long time. The offense played very well, very efficient, despite not a great game from Derrick Henry. So why not Tennessee and getting that number 1 seed and the oh-so-coveted bye this year in the NFL? Let's talk about Tannehill. Now, the quarterback it seemed like the Chiefs' defensive plan was, let's make sure we stop Derrick Henry. And although he did throw an interception, which, didn't matter too much, Tannehill was 21 of 27 for 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Oh, by the way, also had a touchdown run. Finished the game 2 carries, 6 yards. Tannehill, especially in that first half before the Chiefs kind of took the ball back in the second half, but when the Titans offense needed to play well, they were. Very impressed by Tannehill, even if it was a not great Chiefs defense they were going up against. Now, I had thought, hey, maybe this is the Julio Jones game. Maybe he has a big-time matchup against KC. Well, it ended up being A.J. Brown, and maybe the numbers could have been better if the Titans needed to score it at all after, frankly, the first quarter. But A.J. Brown on 9 targets, 8 grabs, 133 yards, 1 touchdown, and some truly acrobatic, impressive grabs by Brown. He's been limited. He hasn't been prime A.J. Brown really at all this season, at least not so far. But oh, we saw him in peak form against the Chiefs. I was very impressed by A.J. Brown. And this is the type of game that I think just makes you feel a little bit better about Brown, and given all of his injuries and illness and whatnot, this is the okay. He's going to be just fine moving forward. Crazy part, by the way, was that Derrick Henry did not have his best game. Now, To be fair, Derrick Henry did also chip in 2 catches for 16 yards and the 5-yard touchdown pass. But on the ground, 29 carries, 86 yards. If I had told you entering the game, Derrick Henry gets the ball 29 times, only 86 yards, I think your reaction would be, oh no, that's not good enough from King Henry. We're going to lose the game. Ended up being, it was a blowout. So Henry got the ball, no carries longer than 11 yards. He was much more bottled up than what we saw against, say, the Bills on Monday Night Football. But it's a win. It's a 27-3 win. No complaints in that department, at least for me. So I think I know the answer to this next question. But grade the Titans in Week 7. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going A. Producer Jeff, you going A? Yeah, I mean, it's got to be an A, right? I will be shook if anyone doesn't type in an A. It was a 27-3 blowout win for Tennessee, but I still want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments. Of course, nothing can always be perfect for the Titans, especially on the offensive line. Kendall Lamm left the game with an ankle injury. Bobby Hart had to sub in for him. The Titans were already desperately thin at offensive tackle. Hopefully Taylor Lewan comes back next week. But this is the injury I think to really monitor as the week goes on. If Lamb can't return and can't go next week, it continues to make things oh so thin on that Titans offensive line. Now, we've kind of hinted at this, but what is your confidence level right now in Tennessee? Use a scale of 1 to 100. 1 being you're in meltdown mode for some reason. I think the year's over. It's all a lie. The Titans actually lost. I don't know why you put it in 1. 100 being guaranteed Super Bowl. It should be a bit less than 100, but I feel good about Tennessee. I was worried early this year. The last 2 games, Bills, Chiefs, 2 massive wins. That should do a lot to boost the confidence in Mike Vrabel's squad. Finally now, the defensive talk. Speaking of Mike Vrabel here. I mean, what else can you say but awesome? 3 takeaways, 334 total yards, with a lot of that kind of coming later on in the game. The Chiefs' offense, folks, did not get the ball past midfield into the third quarter. That first half by Tennessee, plus really most of the game, on defense, utter dominance. Well done by the Titans defense. I cannot give them enough praise for what they did today. Mahomes, he looked bad. Even like there have been games where Mahomes isn't good, but it's still like, okay, he's fine. Here was his QBR. Ready for this, Jeff? His QBR, the ESPN stat, 6.1. That's Davis Mills numbers, not Patrick Mahomes numbers. For reference, Ryan Tannehill was 87.9, and Derrick Henry was 99.9 because, 1 pass for a touchdown, so that makes some sense there. Part of the reason why Mahomes struggled so much was the Titans' pass rush really got home. Danico Autry had maybe his best game ever as at least the Titan. 3 tackles, 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Again, round of applause, hats off to the Titans defense. They won't always be that good, but if that keeps up, this team is going to be a very dangerous threat come playoff time.